Hey, everybody. Welcome back to One Mic Media. And we are here today to discuss episode 3 of House of the Dragon. And today I'll be short some of my colleagues. Hopefully, we get E Money on later. But for now, you will get the originators who came together for these sweet shows. You got me, of course, my man, me, Big Mike, and my man, Mr. Josh Waring, Sir Blackfire. What's up, Josh?
Shaboy!
What up, everybody in Westeros? Be ready another week.
Loving the shirt, loving the shirt. I wish the Starks were more prevalent on this show, but the North remembers, as they always do. I got a shirt that says that too, by the way. I got a black one that says that in my closet
Nice, that's dope.
right now. Yeah, I had it made after season, I'm not sure, 4 or 5. I think when Rob became king and the North remembers. Yeah, I love that. So, yeah,
Yo, a crazy thing is that me and Chloe had similar shirts, and we got them without knowing, like,
that's
but even
crazy.
before we knew each other, which is crazy.
That is
The
crazy.
Targaryen one with its
Yeah,
is like burgundy, and then it has
yeah.
the gold saying Targaryens or
Tired
Targaryen,
blood.
whatever.
Yeah. Okay, that's dope. So, Josh, this episode start. I mean, we leave off last episode with, of course, Sir also being removed from court, and he done dipped back to Old Town, and we saw the fight between Rhaenyra and Damon dips off. So we got to pick up from there. But first, we get this fight between the Blackwoods and the Brackens, who are kind of like the Hatfields and McCoys. Their stuff goes back centuries or decades, I should say. And one's standing with Queen Rhaenyra, one with King Aegon. And that starts this fight, and then we get this scene where they're arguing. Then it comes back, and it looks like the Civil War, just dead bodies everywhere. So, how did you feel about that scene, and what did it tell you about the war that's forthcoming? I should say.
I thought this was an incredible opening scene by the director. So shouts out to the director, and it's quintessential again, quintessential Game of Thrones. Something as like foolish as the Hatfield and McCoys, that type of long-standing rivalry for centuries. And this being so petty, literally petty game, right?
Right.
And then of course when hey, when tempers flare and you got that thing on, you got the sword on you, things
Yeah,
like that will happen, right? Just like, hey, if you outside of the club, hey, you about the nonsense. So they both wanted to smoke.
right.
However, I do agree that the gentleman was correct about it not be, that was their land and they've been protecting it since centuries. So you should respect that. That's all.
Right.
However,
What?
again, I love my bad, Big Mike. I love the imagery. So it starts out something so simple like that and silly, and then it goes to something completely grotesque and just a whole sea of death, as you said. So the imagery of that scene was just like, wow.
So we can go a little deeper because less people in there today. So what did it tell you about because they were both going for different factions, let's say different kings. What did it tell you about the upcoming war as far as the smaller houses who are not, I guess, royal houses and how they're going to play a part in the war upcoming? So,
Yeah, with the Game of Thrones, even the smallest hand becomes more powerful on this, big chessboard for power, because even though you have a claim to the throne on both sides, you all need the support of your constituents, similar to politics.
yep.
So you have the whole concept of the court literally is derived from that and politics like that. So I thought it was, again, brilliant quintessential Game of Thrones. And to be fair, I didn't actually know about that at first. I thought I had misinterpreted it, but then I had to rethink it. And I was like, that's exactly what happened. So for me, it was a misdirect for me.
Oh, I got you. Okay. That's cool. Yeah, I felt the same way. It lets me know that as this a forthcoming war happens, whoever side you're on, you're going to see casualties that the people who are really fighting the war may never even know about or never even see, like we saw with this. A field of dead bodies, nowhere near King's Landing or Dragonstone. So it's it's very interesting.
Yo, in
Um,
my mind, as I was seeing that scene and you see all the dead bodies, I was like, even though there was a time lapse, I was like, wow, that escalated quickly. I'm like, what?
it's
How do we get
weird, but
there?
it reminds me of now, and it's like not the same apples for apples, but how you see people on social media arguing for their favorite whatever entertainer, singer, basketball player, and they're going back and forth hardcore about people that's not even really don't even know them, but don't even care about them. And like this kind of makes me think about how
Right.
like the Royals don't care about these brackets and McCoy, but they're fighting for real hard over it. So
But you know what? To be fair to your point, that's a brilliant point. But I would say the complementary counter of that is that even at that level, people are still going to be petty and immature and care about them and not care about anybody else. So
yeah,
both them and the highborns and
yeah,
the lowerborns, they still have that in common.
yeah, I agree. And then we see Sir Eric and Sir Eric both getting buried back on Dragonstone, and of course they are not highborn, so they don't get or Targaryens. They don't get a dragon burning. They just get buried like everybody else, stuff like that. But she did bury them together, as brothers. And then we see Rhaenys trying to give her counsel, I guess, to maybe try to talk to Allison about this war to see can they avoid it. And Rhaenyra's pushing back like, well, they started it, and Rhaenys says, well, who knows why I started? Did it start with the dragon eating Luke? Did it start with y'all killing the baby? Did it start with Luke taking Aemon's eye? It's so far gone now. It don't really matter who started it, but Rhaenys still trying to avoid bloodshed. So, how do you feel about Rhaenys giving Rhaenyra counsel right there at the while he was burying Sir Eric and Sir Eric?
That was definitely very wise counsel. And I'm surprised that Rhaenyra didn't also have the comeback that Damon had. Well, if you had done that then,
Right,
maybe
right,
we
right.
wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
But you wanna stick your fingers in the pie now. If you want to get involved, get involved. None of this on the wall stuff. This is in the north, right? Like we
yeah,
we we a little further south than the Great Wall. So for me, again, wise counsel, but at the wrong time. But I thought it was interesting that Rhaenyra's counsel was getting very, I would say, very directive. Like some of them was getting a little bass in their voice. I was like, really? You think Rhaenyra is the one? She's not the one, but you could tell that she's being a little bit indecisive. But
yeah. We'll
I
get
I,
we'll
I
get to
respect
that.
it
But I think
where
it's
you,
more
you shouldn't
about
be rushed into the decision though. But yeah,
yeah. We'll definitely get to that. But before we get to that council, we got back in Aegon's council. We see your boy Sir Kristen Cole. He's late to court and stuff like that. And we see his King's Guard. They don't really respect him. They were sitting out on the steps, chilling when he's walking by and stuff like that for a while. So they don't really respect him. But he comes in. He has another plan, and he decides he's going to ride, take some King's Guard, and ride out to try to start taking some land, some areas. And of course, first Aemon says he'll go. Then they said no, we got to leave Vagar here to protect King's Landing. And then initially, Aegon says, he volunteers to go with Sunfire and stuff. But meantime, though, without Sir Otto there, we see the council arguing amongst each other, and nobody's there to kind of rein them in. So how do you feel about that council meeting?
absolutely. We saw bickering in this council as well, and I thought it was interesting the little exchange there because, as you said, the Kingsguard doesn't really respect Sir corny Christian Cole.
Right,
And who gonna respect you with a haircut like that? Come on, bro. You
right,
got to go
right,
to
right.
Jazz. You got to go to a New Year. I don't even know what that was, but you gotta
Yeah,
you gotta look yourself in the mirror and be like, I ain't going out like that. And I mean, I know how I get when I grow my hair, but I
yeah.
wouldn't cut my hair looking like that. That's
Nah,
mm.
bro, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. So how do you feel about Well, I did like. I will say this about myself. I did like the fact that Aegon, even though he's young and naive and immature, he initially did volunteer to go out there on his dragon when they said, Aemon to stay with Vagar. So I do like the fact that even as a king, he's like, no, I'll go out there too. So I did like that. How'd you feel about that part? So,
I thought he was still overcompensating, kind of like how he was with his first rage. Like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that.
okay.
You know, sound the alarms, get the dragons ready for battle. Like, kid, get out of here, man. Stop playing around. You're not about that life. You've never been about that life. But your brother is about that life. So if he was doing that, I think people would be moving differently and probably a little bit more confidently. If Aemon was doing
Yeah.
everything that Aegon is doing, to be fair. So I still think it's going to be interesting to see how that power dynamic works, and we'll get to that later with that scene.
Oh man, yeah, talked about online all last night. But next we got Rebecca in Dragonstone with Rhaenyra talking to now Massaria, who she owes a debt because she did warn them about Sir Eric and his attempted assassination. And she says her reward is she wants to be on the council. She wants to be, I guess, her sort of master of whispers and help her out with things like that. And Rhaenyra kind of agrees. And later on, we'll see her help out along the way. But Massaria is a person who will always find a way, I guess, and stuff like that. She's very she's useful, but she's also, she wants hers. So how you feel about Rhaenyra and Massaria these right now?
Yeah, I'm glad the story goes in this direction because I feel like those two have developed such a unique and symbiotic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And as we see because I feel like a sign of a great leader is that people are asking to work for you. So I
Right.
think that was I feel like you could see that in Rainier's expression, like, oh wow, like this is finally someone who respects me, not because they have to or they swore under oath, but because they generally want to. So that I think that spoke volumes as well. I can also see her being, a master of secrets to, you know, uh potential hand of the head of the queen. Think that might be interesting as well.
Yeah. I want to talk about this one only because Chloe would normally be on here, but we do see Raina, sister wife. She's let me put this in the. What am I saying? What am I saying out loud? Sister wife. She says about Massaria and Rhaenyra, stuff like that. So we do see one of the black sisters, this time the younger one, Raina, and she's finally got a task to do. She's been chilling, I guess, but she does task her to leave Dragonstone. She doesn't have a dragon yet. Her dragon's not hatched or young or something, but she's leaving. Oh, she don't have one yet. That's right, and she's leaving Dragonstone with the other kids to go to the Vale. To that was the deal she made for the Vale to supply men that she would supply a dragon to them and stuff like that. But she's taking the other kids with her, and she's not having it. She wants to be a part of the war. She wants to be there. She don't want to leave, and she felt like she's getting pushed away. What's your feelings about that scene, right there in Rhaenyra?
With Reina, I definitely have empathy for her because her family's in battle. The enemy literally came in their home and tried to kill, the monarchy and the mother figure for the family. So I definitely get it from that aspect. You wanna support, but this is how you support in your role. Like again, every kid goes through this. When you're all the holiday dinners, you're gonna be at the kids' table. So in terms of this strategy, she's at the kids' table. We get why you're upset, but at the end of the day, you get to go to a very pleasant area
Yeah,
in Westeros, and you essentially got everything that Danny ever wanted. You get to go to a great area of Westeros or Essos, excuse me, and then you get dragon eggs. You have little hatchling dragons, and they gave you money, and you get to watch over the descendants of the throne. So that's why I'm like, what are you upset about? Be grateful. And the queen was very remorseful and asking her to request this, but that's a very important assignment. You're protecting the legacy, and not
yeah.
and we'll get into what the
And then
how the
gave her.
sisters had a convo.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that later. Okay. Before we get to that, Close says, "I have no idea why all of a sudden these women want we keep wanting to go to war. I'll be happy to leave and take care of some kids that are dying." I'm kind of agreeing with Chloe. So from Rhaenyra's standpoint, it kills two things. You get to keep your deal. You send in dragon eggs with a dragon rider, with several dragon riders, really to count the kids, with dragon riders for them. But also the kids, including Rhaena, leave the castle so that way they can be protected and they're gonna be the heir to her throne. So I think it's like to me it's perfect, honestly, in that situation. So I don't really have a problem with it. But
Yeah,
we
that's
got
facts, and I definitely agree with Chloe because I thought that was a very interesting, considering who the director is, right? I thought that was
yeah,
very interesting portrayal of role reversals.
yeah, I agree. But we get here, Josh, and your boy Damon arrives on Harrenhal. Now I don't know how much you know about Harrenhal. I mean, obviously we know it's what the largest castle in Westeros, but also it's beat the shit, right?
Wait,
So
it's literally bigger than King's Landing?
yeah, King's Landing's actually not a big castle. It's just like Like, okay, the Red Keep is the castle. King's
Right.
Landing is the whole town. So
Right.
King's Landing is big, but the castle itself is not. That the Red Keep's not that big,
Fair
right?
enough.
So Harrenhal. I mean, Damon easily claims it, right? He walk in the dining area. He like, yo, I'm taking this. They're like, yeah, you got it. You know what I mean? Real quick. Boom, boom, boom. But we see, it rains inside the castle. Castle's partially destroyed. But it is a good holding spot. You get the high area for your dragon where he put, Caraxes at. You get, that large castle. And they got a bunch of men there at Harrenhal. Now, what happened to Harrenhal, and it's not a spoiler because it's not happening in this show, but Aegon the Conqueror's dragon, Baelor the Black Dread, they didn't want to give up. So basically, he kept burning it down with Balon until it got to where it's at right now. Because Harrenhal was not trying to give, because they had the largest castle. They feel like our castle will stop your dragon. And that's why I look like that to do now. And eventually, he burned everybody up in there. So.
Didn't we see it last season as well when Jacaerys got sworn in?
We did. We saw Harrenhal too. And also, that's Lord Larys. That's where his family's from.
That's right. The traitor to the family.
Right. He burned his family up in Harrenhal also. So it's a very castle, just bad luck. Also, though, if you want to talk about Game of Thrones, that's where Tywin Lannister was at for a while when Arya was his squire for a little bit. They were in Harrenhal too at that time.
And you know what he said during one of those meetings?
What did he say?
A lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of a sheep.
That's true. That's definitely true. Yeah. So he was one of her. I would say for Arya, he was one of her teachers unknowingly a little bit too. But
Facts.
For Harrenhal, so he takes it real easy. But we see this meeting, like not meeting, but talking to the guy who's there now. He keeps calling Daemon a prince. Daemon wants to be known as a king. He's calling me your grace, even though he's not a king or in any way, shape, or form.
King consort Daemon.
Right, exactly. So, how you feeling about that? After he left Rhaenyra, he goes there, but now he wants to try to get his army there. But he's saying, "Call me your grace." How you feeling about Daemon's right now?
To me, this is classic Daemon. Daemon is a tester of boundaries. So big up to the heads of any council who's gonna stand their ground. But technically, you can because he isn't the king, and he knows he's the king consort. But I think he really just tests each person just to see how he can manipulate them, basically.
Yeah. And he got dragon, and he got he's inspired.
Yeah, he came in trying to flex the muscle, but it wasn't even about that at all.
No. They were like, cool, like we just here chilling, honestly. We don't care about this place, and shit. But Daemon gonna try to fix it up and fortify that. But to me, it showed me too that, like when Rhaenyra asked him last week, "Can you see me as your queen?" and blah blah blah. And I think he just can't give up. Like Daemon's fighting this war to be king, not to make Rhaenyra queen, and that's always their issue and stuff like that. So,
Facts.
And it's been that way since his brother. Viserys actually, and then after the guy gives it up, we go back to King's Landing, and we see Kristen with his new haircut. He's about to leave, stuff like that, and they're going on their mission. But we see a new character, Sir Gawain, Lord. What is he? Is he Lord? Yeah, Lord Gawain. He's
Hightower.
Gawain Hightower, Alicent's brother. He came from what is it, Old Town. 3 months on the back of a horse, and he's going with Kristen Cole. But I think he kind of noticed that Cole smashing Alicent. So how you felt about that scene, Josh, with the introduction of Gawain there?
Oh yeah, I thought that was a great character to throw into the power dynamics of Christian and Alicent, and Aegon as well. And then you add another Hightower, so you replace a Hightower with another Hightower. So I thought that was interesting as well.
And I like how he said, "I came over here to see my dad, and I come to find out somehow he's been the hand of 3 kings, but yet he lost his job to you, who's a low-born knight right now." So I kind of like how he threw it in his face a little bit too.
Hey, he had to, because that's how the realm, that's the respect of the realm, right? If you're a highborn, you are highborn, and you can say those things because of your status, to a degree. But the hand of the king is never going to be able to do that to, in my opinion, unless the king orders it. In my opinion, you can't strike down a highborn or anything like that.
Right, and normally the hands are passed down from highborn to highborn. So for somebody like he said, for somebody like Kristen Cole, all of a sudden become can't hand. It's like, how is this, possible? You know what I mean? So, um, but moving forward though, we go back to what you were talking about, Josh. We can piggyback on that. The council scene at Rhaenyra's table, where they talk about Damon's gone, but they tell her you've already been almost assassinated. You're here, but Damon's gone. Nobody to protect you. Why don't you go away somewhere and let us handle this war? And she's like, "Look, you trying to get me to go away?" And they were like, "She's like, that's almost treason. You're lucky I don't take your head for it, basically, and stuff like that." So, how you feel about her counsel and the constant questioning of her in that situation?
Yeah, they was getting brolic with her, but to be fair, it was at that point. To me, it wasn't a time to dilly dally. And to be fair to Rhaenyra, she's a very practical and thoughtful decision maker. So, but I still think it was important for the council to stress the urgency. I just thought it was interesting because it to me it also did come off as disrespectful to the crown, because no one would dare to do that, and yet Otto Hightower did it last episode, and whoever that was doing it to Rhaenyra. So I thought that was interesting, and we both know they would never do that if Daemon was there. I just thought all that was interesting.
Yeah, and but I did like how Renee stood up for her at that moment and said, she wears the crown of my father or grandfather who was outlasted every king, so don't be mindful of yours.
And again, we see it. I love the parallels, and that's a great point, Big Mike. I love the parallels of each scene. So we see it with the high towers. A highborn has to essentially bitch slap a lowborn, and it had to happen again. That's all.
Yeah, pretty much. But in their defense, though, I do want to say, and we'll get to it more, but I feel like Rhaenyra is moving like her dad. Remember how he was like last week with the crab feeder? He's very slow to go to war, and I get it. He want to have peace, but I guess Rhaenyra trying to avoid what's going to be crazy. But at this point, it's over, and it's like you got to move. You can't just sit still and do nothing, especially when you're the one who's trying to get back on the throne. So I felt like that. Now having her dip, that's crazy. No, she shouldn't go because anything could happen. But she should start to make some moves, I feel like. But we'll get more into that a little bit later. But we do get this scene where Corlys, I guess, checking in with his wife, Rhaenys. Of course, Dr. Umar will hate this relationship, probably, but checking in with his wife, Rhaenys. And about what's going on in Dragonstone. But she's telling him he's got to name an heir to Driftmark, where he's at right now. And obviously his daughter's dead, and his son is gone. He's dead to him, but he's gone to us, But he don't want to name nobody. He don't want to name the girls, who's granddaughters, maybe because they're women, I guess. Obviously, back in the day. But he also don't want to name who's supposed to be his grandkids, the other of Rhaenyra's kids. So what are you feeling about Corlys and what he's thinking right now in the situation?
Yeah, I'm thinking about your previous prediction about it's going to Alan and the brother.
Yeah, but how you feel like, since they are bastards, that's what they are. How do you feel like Rhaenys gonna feel about that if he gives it to Alan and the brother?
That's a great point, because she is a highborn. She about that life. She speaks High Valyrian, so she's like, bougie of the highborn.
Yeah,
and when you're at that
real,
level,
and those are her real granddaughters over there. So she's,
exactly. So
she's.
Oh, there you go.
What's going on though?
What's up?
What
brother?
up?
We're good. We just talking about House of the Dragon right now. Kind of moving kind of fast. It's just me and Josh right now, but we did get into Daemon, how he snatched up Harrenhal, and they give him a pushback on how you felt about that.
Man, that shit looked like a dump, yo.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, but I like how he moved, bro. For real. First of all, he landed at the top so he could see everybody scatter and see where everybody ran and what, where it was more populated at. Then he went down the steps on his Dean armor shining, sword out. Yo, he had the sword like a gun, kind of, right? The way he was holding that thing, yeah, that boy was
I
prepared.
like how he got the open face armor though. It's kind of dope.
Yeah, yeah. So he could see.
Yeah.
No blind spots. That's very good. Yeah.
It is a dump. I was telling Josh just because it got burned
That shit
down
was dumb.
by Aegon the Conqueror's dragon a long time ago and stuff. So and they never could fix it. And actually, I think they said you still smell the dragon fire like 100 years later. It's crazy. But,
Yeah.
And Big Mike, if you don't mind, yo E, we were talking about Reyna.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? You want to ask
Alright.
Big Mike about like Reyna and her
The little-
decision?
The little girl, the black girl, the youngest one, who was sent off with the kids and the eggs, and how she was like not feeling that. She wanted to stay and fight in the war.
Yeah, nah, that was real smart. She's stupid. That was real smart. I'm glad she did that. That was like that was kind of love.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like that was love right there. She don't want to lose no more people, and she's showing it. Like, nah, you gonna guard these eggs and raise them right. You gonna raise these kids. You gonna do all this.
Yeah.
And now she want to stay and fight. Nah, that's way more strategic. That's way more strategic. Bloodline carries on no matter what happens.
That's what I said. You keep the kids safe. The
Like what? Right. Then you got to, she could have some herself. Like, come on now, stop playing.
Good segue, because we're up to that scene where she's about to leave, and her sister talks to her, and they kind of have it back and forth because her sister's like, easy for you to say, you get to stay here because she got Moon Dancer, she got herself a dragon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can see her on, and then she's tasked to leave, but we do see Rhaenyra does gift her with the 3 dragon eggs to go with her. So it kind of makes her feel a little bit better about having that task. Josh, how you feeling about that back and forth between the 2 sisters about that situation?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's a typical conversation. Even though I don't have any siblings, right? But I've also observed siblings. I've observed, if you have an older cousin or younger cousin. If I'm your older cousin, you're gonna do what I say to a certain point. If you can't protect yourself, you don't have your own dragon, then yeah, you're gonna have to fall in line. And I was saying to Big Mike earlier, it's like being at the kids' table. So you got to take it on as a noble responsibility, and then you earn your way to the adult table. That's it. That's his life.
Right.
Because obviously you can't fight hand-to-hand combat, right?
Exactly. That's what I
you don't got no dragon.
By the way, you guys are speaking facts because she's called Lady Reyna, and she wasn't like Arya. So you don't even know how to do anything.
Right. Take care of them kids. Watch some dragons. That's what you're gonna do.
But Josh did drop a note in our chat that those eggs that she got wind up being, at least 3 of them, wind up being Daenerys eggs from Game of Thrones that become...
Where? Oh!
Yeah, that become Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserys down the line and stuff like that. So
that's fire.
Yeah.
Wow, damn, they waited that long to hatch?
They didn't hatch, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so probably because they left Dragonstone. Most of them eggs hatch under Dragonstone and stuff like that. So.
And who hatched them again?
That makes sense.
Danny hatched them in the fire. Remember in the first season when she was
Yeah, she did.
Who hatched them in the House of the Dragon series?
They're not hatched. They just eggs.
No. I'm not hatched them, but who laid
babies
them?
Are they? Oh, I don't even know.
Because I thought it was that other big dragon that Daemon was trying to the other biggest one.
It is. You're right.
So
you're right.
that's why I was surprised why her 3 dragons didn't grow to be as big as. Like sense. I know they can live for a long time. I just assumed that they would be growing bigger.
Yeah. I think it's weird because they didn't live a dragon lifestyle. I guess with Danny. And stuff like
that's facts. They were, you know what, and they are reptiles. Reptiles adapt to the space that they're given. You're totally right. They didn't get a lot of space growing up.
At one point, she had them like in the little thing where remember when Tyrion went down there to see the dragon, and you can't let the dragon spread their wings, so they're never gonna grow. And stuff like
facts,
so,
super facts.
Yeah, it's crazy, but we get the scene. I mean, it's kind of a sad scene to me. But Helena, who lost her son, still grieving it, and her mother comes and. Really offers no support. And she's just like, she said that Helena's like, look, people die every day, B, basically. She's just like, a lot of times it's kids, especially this time a year. So I'm not, I'm hurt, but I get it. And then her mom, and then she says, like, the people who are poor, they probably looking at me like, well, how's she gonna be sad? At least she rich. And their mom says, well, you're allowed to grieve too, which was a good line. But then she tells her mom, look, I forgive you. And I was looking like, for what? So Josh, we thought about that scene between Allison and Helena.
I thought this was a wonderful scene. And I'll be completely honest. Ever since I learned that Helena is a seer, is a dreamer, I'm totally looking at her from a brand type of lens. And the more she delivers her lines, the more of a cold and calculating, like I already see into the future and I accept that you're gonna do it regardless. It's all good. That's how I took that. Because that's the only context in me that makes sense.
Right.
So you thought it was cryptic? Like, okay.
Oh, 1,000%.
Oh, see, I thought she was talking about her fucking old boy.
That's what I thought. And she was saying that the reason why
I think it was both. No. I think you're completely right. That's what I saw in the beginning of the scene, but towards the end, I was like, oh, that's what she's.
That's why
that's why she's calm.
like that.
Yeah, because I feel like
she understood. Yeah,
the reason that my door wasn't guarded because you was smashing niggas supposed to guard
you was smashing
door.
it. Yeah,
Right.
You was smashing the person that was supposed to be guarding the door.
Right.
What the fuck? And you gonna sit here and look at me? Are you out your mind?
Right. You were there riding the pony. He supposed to be at the door.
Right.
So,
They both got 2 piece. I think I'd have got him killed.
I would have told the king. I would have told the king. I'd have like,
he was while you was asleep and the kids was getting killed, he was fucking your mom.
Right.
Yo, could you imagine?
Oh man.
My bad, E.
But I do like the cryptic line. I forgive you. Like she didn't say, the whole thing. What for? I like how she did it. Like that's like mad. Like it gotta hurt a little bit of you, Allison. You know what I mean? So
hell yeah.
Yeah.
You see, she started acting funny towards
Fact.
Yeah. So we get this next scene where we get Aegon trying on this armor. He's supposed to go out there with Sir Kristen Cole, and him and his. I mean, they're supposed to be knights, but they're really just boys. That he doesn't.
Entourage.
Right, his entourage. There you go. Yeah, it was entourage. But then we see Sir Lars come in there, Master of Whispers, to be, and he's telling him that the people in the street saying that you're only going out to the war. They sent you out so that way your mother can be the queen and your brother can take over while you're gone. He's saying they talked you into it. So then he tells him, okay, go handle that rumor, and I want you to be my Master of Whispers. So let me start with E this time. How you feel about Lars and the way he manipulating things with Aegon and stuff?
Man, I respect how he manipulates things because he's a slime ball, and he played with them feet. Yeah. So I respect it, I felt the embrace of when he said, "You be my whispers." Like people be saying, nobody has use for those talents, but I'm gonna need your talents. Yeah. And he's like, oh, like yo, you seen the tears in his eyes? I was like, yeah, he feel that, he like that. He did his thing with that. I ain't gonna lie, that was smart. He saved that boy's life because he was definitely gonna die. He done went out there. Damien had been right there.
Well, yeah, I do want to see his dragon. I like Sunfire. But Josh, how you feeling about that? And also, this showing him as king with the entourage he surrounds himself with, especially even in the scene right here with them in the full King's Guard attire. How you feeling about that? And Solaris.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting considering they're part of the entourage of the king, so they're gallivanting all over the town, and then they're supposed to be Kingsguard, who's supposed to be celibate. So it really just shows the decay of honor at King's Landing. So I thought that was interesting, but at the same time, it made me feel that Aegon can essentially, he's like the kid with the magnifying glass pointed at the ant. Like, I want to see if you're going to be my dancing monkey. You know what I mean? Like, oh, do this, do that, do this, do that. It's kind of like in a Joffrey way, but in a more sly way. Like, I'm not going to make you do that until I give an order as a king type of thing. So I thought that displayed Aegon's mindset. But I also thought that was cool that he got Aegon the Conqueror's armor. That was dope.
Yeah, that was cool. I thought it was cool. They resized it for him. I thought that was pretty cool, and it was Valerian steel armor, so I thought that was cool.
Nah, I want to be smoking Aegon Pack, man.
You're gonna find out Cole smashed his mama. And about Solaris, Josh, and his manipulation and motivation there.
Oh yeah, I think he reminds me of Littlefinger a lot. I think he's trying to climb the highborn ladder, of course, in the Game of Thrones, and I think he sees he has a massive opening and influence in the kingdom. And I think Otto, at the end of his tenure as Hand of the King, he was losing patience, but I think Larys has ultimate patience, and I think he's like, I can be Master of Whispers, but then I can work my way up to Hand of the King, and I don't even need to trip about it because it's mine anyway. It's just a matter of time. There's Sir Christian Cole and Aegon do some dumb shit, and I'm gonna have to come and clean it up, and then it is gonna make me Hand of the King anyway. So I thought he was definitely playing chess, but as E said, being extra greasy about it.
Plus, at the end of the day, like, what is he, twice his kid's age, Aegon's age? So it's easy to manipulate a young person,
Yeah.
like, who has their mind on other things. So I feel like he using that age against them and stuff like that. And you can tell every time he talked to Aegon get like bright eyed, like, oh really? You know what I mean? Like, so to me that's what it showed. But speaking of Josh and Entourage, so they go out drinking, they go to the spot. We see this dude telling a story how he's a bastard Targaryen. I don't know if it's true or not. We're gonna see, but they go to the spot. He get drinks on the crown. He says a whole night. Then from there they go to the brothel to try to get the young boy laid, and we see some scenes, and then they run into the boy Aemon.
Oh,
Aemon's cuddled up like a little baby again.
All he was missing was his thumb in his mouth.
Yeah, and then his brother start clowning him like,
"Oh my god,
you still smashing the girl, your first girl, and this old lady, blah blah blah."
I was dying, bro.
Yeah, and then he get up and walk away, like, and tell she's saying now he's on a whore is a whore after that. How you felt about that whole job, bro?
Man, that shit was hilarious. When he pulled that curtain and he was laying there all curled up like that in the fetal position, bro, I lost it. Yeah. I lost it. And then when he sat there, when he sat up, and he sat there behind him still laughing. Yo, I felt like I was there. Yo, that was good acting. No cap. That was good acting. I felt like I was there. I don't know what made old boy stand up with the chicken nugget and it flexed, but I guess he could beat them niggas or something. Wow.
The thing is, if I get to Josh, is that he couldn't do nothing. That's the king. He can't say shit.
Right.
He gotta take it and just sit there and take it, even though it's his brother. Ain't nothing he can really do and stuff like that.
He played it cool though.
He did, but he knows nothing he could do. Plus, the king surrounded by knights, even though they're fools, but they got swords. He said they're naked. Nothing he could do. Still take it. But Josh, how you felt about that whole segment?
Yeah, this was hilarious. I think we were all giggling like Aegon there. Like that was hilarious. Like that's literally the worst person. He was not. I think we were all dying. That's literally the worst person you would want to catch you like that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That especially if it's your brother, he's never gonna let you live it down anyway. And Aegon's that type of person anyway to be making jokes about it in court with everybody at like a full court. Like he would be doing all of that. So I definitely think there's gonna be a power struggle, and I think that was very wise of wow. Aemon, thank you. Yeah. Very wise of Aemon to respond in, obviously not like get into a back and forth because you got caught slipping. There's really nothing you could do. Just take the L and live to fight another day. And I think he did that because I think at the end of the day, we all know that, Aemon can beat anyone in King's Landing basically. And I think it'd be I can't wait to see him and Sir Christian Cole go at it because I feel like they're gonna go at it too.
Yeah, it wasn't good for him, man. It was bad for him. Now he probably treat old girl bad because he got caught up and shit like that.
Yeah,
he was capping though. He was capping.
Yeah, I know he was capping. That shit hurt. That nigga really wanted to go cry.
He did. Because you know what? Like I said, once again, the fact he can't say nothing back as the king, That's what gotta hurt the most, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So,
And I think this was another scene that demonstrated how bad of a mother Allison is.
Yep.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Because he's
Um,
confiding into a whore.
I know, right? It's crazy.
Like that's his mom.
Right.
And boning it at the same time. Like that
In the
boy's
fetal
like,
position, butt naked,
yeah,
and shit, like a little. That's
hold me, please.
Yo, the crazy part is she even had on clothes, so I'm like, why he butt naked in the fetal position and shit like that? So,
Yeah, because she
but speaking of Sir Kristen, Josh, we get Alice's brother Gawain, and he's like, again, these guys are not used to war, right? So Kristen is like, look, let's stay under the trees. We're gonna make camp, bro. Like, I'm going to an inn. I'm going to a hotel, and he's like, no, that's not what we're gonna do. We're gonna stay here, get out of the open. Before they know it, Moon Dancer and Bela done ran down on them, and they going fast, boy, trying to get away from this dragon. And she just missed him going into the woods, and then they finally say, okay, we'll make camp, and I guess Gawain thanks Christopher helping him. So, Josh, how you felt about that scene right there?
That was an incredible scene. The whole point to where the dragon and Reyna, what's her name again? Bela, excuse me, Bela. See the glimmer, and you obviously that's only going to be either a noble armor, highborn, or like a knight of the round type of thing. So I thought that was great. How, because I was always curious, like how could you see that far who that is from that high? I'm like, come on,
right.
But it was cool. So you had to go investigate, like, oh yeah, that's what we're looking for. Again, but at the same time, I still don't know how that she knew it was Sir Christian Cole with like complete certainty, especially being that far away. If you wasn't far enough to burn them with fire, how could you like really ID the person? Now again, if you
she did get close though at the end though.
She did, but again from behind, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But still wasn't close enough to burn them with fire. Because I'm like, when are you waiting for? Like fly and blow the fire.
Yeah, that's what I didn't like. I did like seeing old boy terrified though when the dragon was above them, and it lets me know that he's from Old Town. Ain't no dragons in Old Town, so it's one now, but he ain't used to that. So the fear was real. How you feel about that scene?
So I wish she would have burnt them. Like I wanted her to catch them so bad, man. And why didn't and the dragon seemed like it knew what it was doing, so why she stop it? Because it looked like he was about to start sticking his neck through a little bit and
well, I think in the next scene you'll see Rhaenyra, who says, "How did you know it was cold?" And she got close, and she says, "I did reconnaissance like you told me." So Rhaenyra never said it's okay to burn them yet. She was listening to orders from her queen, basically.
All right.
Damon would have burned
respect.
Them, what I mean? But But in this situation, she's young. It's her first time being in any type of war, so she don't know. But she.
But at the same time, why'd you pursue him in that manner? If you're just surveying.
Well, she disobeyed because remember, Rhaenyra said fly overhead and survey. So she did disobey, but what you're saying is that she might as well burn him anyway. She already disobeyed in the first place.
Yeah, facts. But
and then you can blame it on the dragon.
Sir Christian got to go.
Yeah.
He's dangerous.
Josh hates that dude, man.
Yeah, I hate him too. He chipped Damien. Like he got to go. He nice. He too nice.
Yeah, and I got the haircut, so
yeah, a dragon need to do him dirty.
Yeah. So I kind of agree with that, but we get back to Rhaenyra also again being indecisive, even though they know it's cold, it's some night. She still says no because she done now read this letter from Alicent and got her being hesitant about fighting the war. So let me get to you. How you feel about Rhaenyra's episode? How her council keep telling her it's time to move, but she's not moving yet. How you feel about that?
I honestly feel she needs a new council, right?
Okay, all right.
I feel like she needs to get rid of them suckers because it's a lot of grime and slime, and I feel I could feel it, especially with that the big one with the brown and the mustache. Yeah, I'd be ready to slap him, man. I'm surprised she ain't make Damien cut him up a little bit, man. But I understand. Or her son, at least her son looked like he trained to go.
He ready.
So Yeah, she need to let him get ready, man, because it's war already. Like it's war, man. Like in the beginning of the show, it's war. It's already started. It's once them territories struck each other, it's already on.
Josh, we get back to Damon on Harrenhal. He's having this hallucination on Harrenhal, which is not surprising. But he felt like somebody busted in his room and nobody's there. He walks around. He sees a young Rhaenyra, played by Millie Alcott.
Yeah.
But stitching up the kid that got killed last week or 2 weeks ago. So I guess showing Damon maybe having some regrets or remorse or just feeling like either remorse that he did it or remorse that he disobeyed Rhaenyra and did it.
Yeah, either way.
Either way. But then when he does wake up, the chick at the Harrenhal says, "You're gonna die here." So Josh, how you feeling about that scene with Damon at Harrenhal?
Yeah, I thought that was a very interesting scene because it's always cool, even though it's set in a medieval type of setting. It's always cool when they add the, like the mystical, spiritual aspect to it. Like the magic and all that. Like I think that's pretty cool how it's woven into it. And I also thought it was interesting that Damon woke up touching the Godswood. So that also, to me, that kind of confirmed what I was thinking about Helena and her being a dreamer and seer, and perhaps Damon is having some elements of that. And if he can harness that, he'll be able to warg that other big dragon while flying on Syraxis. I think that'll be crazy if he can develop that skill.
Yeah. How you feel about Damon and his dream and her saying you're gonna die here?
Yeah, because at first I was all confused.
Right.
Somebody went to the door and they dipped off. I was like, oh, somebody wants smoke. I was like, definitely get right. Somebody wants smoke. And I couldn't tell it was a vision until, it started getting all weird and shit. Yeah. So does that mean he got powers now? Like the sister?
I think it's Harrenhal giving it to him, honestly. I think it's just that place is cursed. And I think that, just the place, because nobody's really survived the Harrenhal.
No.
No. That's
why
like that.
He's not though. Come on, this is Damon we talking about.
I mean, we got to keep watching, but we do get now Rhaenyra back to Mysaria and trying to find out Alicent's movements because she want to go talk to Alicent. Now Mysaria like, are you crazy? Like, where are you going there? And then Rhaenyra talks to Ren to figuring out how to get there. So the end of the episode, we get Rhaenyra dressed up like the shame nuns. And she goes and she runs up on Alicent and to try to talk to her. And we get this conversation. Now, I felt like this was dumb on Rhaenyra's part to even put herself in that kind of harm's way in King's Landing.
Yo, that was real dumb because that shit could have went bad.
And she only had one bodyguard with her and one little ass knife and shit like that. So I wasn't feeling that. But and also I was dumb because I feel like Alicent was right. Like, listen, I don't know how we got here, but it's too late. Kids done died. My father done left court. Cole done dipped off. And she said, well, you know Aemon. So, but we do get, I'm not talk about it all. We do get Rhaenyra, Alicent finally seeing she fucked up. Basically.
Right.
And when he said Aegon, he wasn't talking about her son, who's a bumbling idiot. He's talking about Aegon the Conqueror. Right. And to me, I felt like, Alicent wanted to be her son because why the fuck would Viserys say I want him to be the king? He didn't even like Aegon. You know what I mean? As his son. He was a fool who all he did was hang out with his boys and smash chicks, stuff like that.
Right.
So, how you feel about that whole thing? Rhaenyra sneaking in there, Alicent and Rhaenyra's conversation. How you feel about the whole thing, man?
All right, so I thought that shit was dumb as hell with her sneaking in. I felt they could have did that better than that because that shit was like that. That could have went real bad, man. I'm telling you, that shit could have. I felt it was gonna go like that. Shit could have just been both of them killing each, like basically her killing her and then getting killed. Mm-hmm. And then what? Damien would be king then, right? Or that other spot.
He would be king consort. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's true. Yeah.
Right. So he'd probably love that, but. What else happened?
Alicent figured out she was dumb.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So Allison was wrong, and I knew Allison was wrong from the gate in the first place. We all knew that shit. So that's why I don't fuck with her in the first place. And I'm glad it gave, my queen her closure. She got her closure, so now war can really go.
Yeah.
War can really go. You got your closure. You knew that was your throne. You really know now that was your throne. Yeah. And you really know what time it is.
Yeah.
In the story. Nothing else to talk about. Fuck what Allison was talking about. There's nothing else to talk about. You knew. You know what your dad was talking about. So, come on.
Y'all ain't friends no more. Y'all, so let it go.
Let it go. That's it.
Yeah,
That's done. Get the fuck up out of there. Because she tell on you.
Excuse me, Josh. How you felt about that whole thing? The sneaking in, the whole out conversation, all of it.
Yeah, I agree with all of that, Big Mike and E. And also, I agree that was a really stupid move, her sneaking in there, but it was the right move because she was right. She knew Allison to the core, which is why she was able to walk away and go back home to Dragonstone. But at the same time, I saw this reveal similar to the Jon Snow reveal. It's just at a different area in this story. So that's what I really felt. So, and to E's point and to your point, Big Mike, it's similar to how it was revealed in the Game of Thrones show, because now it's not really gonna even matter because it's irreversible at this point. So we got the big reveal, but it don't matter. So George R. Martin did it again.
Because Rhaenyra's saying, let's avoid this war and tell your son to give me the throne. But that's why I thought it was dumb, because it don't matter what Allison say, Aegon giving up that throne, so nothing she could do about it. And like you said, even if I did have somebody to help me talk to him, he gone. Otto dipped already. He left.
Yeah, after she said that, she should have shut the fuck up.
Right.
And been like, all right, Allison, you were right though. I apologize. We'll figure something out.
Yeah. That's facts.
Bounced.
Yep.
And went to war. And went
smooth to war at this point. So
went smooth to war.
I feel like the only, I forget what they call the mother of the king, like the queen something.
I forget. Queen something. Yeah.
But the only queen
Queen Regent.
Queen Regent, thank you. The only Queen Regent who would be able to pull that off would be Cersei. First of all. Yeah. But at the same time, it's a double-edged sword because she wouldn't let you leave alive.
No. Right. And it's too many. Like, I don't like Aegon or the Greens, but what would Aegon look like saying, okay, I'll give up my throne for Rhaenyra at this point? He'll look dumb as hell. So there's no way.
Yeah, there's no way. It's like everything's already fucked.
Yeah, it's sad emotion.
It's already fucked. You want that throne?
You gotta come.
You gotta take it. Yep.
Right.
Take it.
That's why it's Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? Always.
Yep.
So.
Gotta take it now.
Yeah.
And you in the right. You in the right.
Yeah,
absolutely. And she got a lot of intel, to be fair. Like Allison gave out a lot of strategic game as well, like in terms of military defenses.
And she thought Otto was gone. Allison didn't know Otto was gone, stuff like that. She gave a lot of intel, to be honest with you. So she can take that back and use that against her and stuff. So I'm looking forward to see how the next episode plays out, because we got Cole on the road now.
Doesn't that mean she can get Otto?
Well, he's in Old Town. She could, but will he do it though?
You'll be my hand, and I don't mean. They got to come with some kind of agreement though. It would have to. Something.
Yeah. Well, episode is all done. Josh, how would you rate the episode House of the Dragon this week?
Yeah, I've definitely given this a solid 8. I appreciate the amazing elements of Game of Thrones. Some of them was very dramatic, very exhilarating, like the dragon chase, or how the fight with the Hatfield and McCoy families in the beginning.
Right.
This really setting the stage. You know what I mean? And it wasn't a filler episode either. Like I thought it really moved the plot along and raised the stakes and moved the chessboards. So I loved it. I mean, obviously I want to set the bar at a realistic level, like an 8. It wasn't like a 9 or a 10 for me, but I think the other episodes will probably reach that with, climactic plot, things like that.
E, how you felt about it?
I'm giving it a 7. The Amos shit really made me laugh.
Oh yeah.
And I'm glad the queen got some closure, and I'm glad the black girl got the task with the eggs. And so yeah, I give it a 7. They did all right.
I'm gonna go
For
with a
filler.
7.5. I think it was still more setup. Even though I'm not mad at it because classic Game of Thrones, a lot of good writing, a lot of good dialogue, so I'm not mad at it. But with this being a Dance with the Dragons, and it is about a war, you know what I mean? I'm ready for some war to happen. So I'm hoping that episode 4 we get more. So we got room to improve. But it wasn't a bad episode at all. Like I enjoyed, the back and forth, how the chess pieces move, like you said, John.
That's facts. And I want to ask you fellas a question, if you don't mind, Big Mike. Does the first season and these episodes so far of the second season give you hope for the new series that they're going to develop with Dunk and Egg?
So for me, it does, because as long as it got Westeros and Game of Thrones, I'm good. I think for some people it might not, because there won't be many dragons a lot going on, but we'll see a lot of fighting with Sir Duncan the Tall. So I think A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is called. So I think it should be good. What do you think, buddy?
Yeah, I think this shit gonna be good.
I want to see when they tell Aegon the Conqueror's story. I told you that. That's what my
Yeah, is that the one with the
They're
black
definitely going to
dragon?
do that.
The big,
huh?
the big.
What,
My
John?
Is that
bad.
the one with the
What
big
was you
dragon?
saying?
No, I was about to say, is that the one with the big dragon?
That's the one with the big dragon, him
Yeah.
and his sister wives,
Okay.
and stuff like that. When they come to take Westeros from
They're
Valyria,
definitely doing that.
they're definitely doing that, bro.
So that's just going to be called the Doom of Valyria, right?
No. That's separate. We're talking about Aegon's conquest is called, actually, and when he because they're already when Valyria gets doomed, they all move to Westeros, but they stay in Dragonstone, right? And then they're just there. Westeros is still all separate entities. Aegon gets tired, like, yo, we've got dragons. We're better than them. I'm taking over this whole thing. So he goes to take over one by one. So his conquest is dope. Him and his sister wives, and their dragons. They get every lord to bend the knee except for Dorne, one by one. So I think it's dope. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
And I think Ia like that, because Aegon's a beast. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then the sisters, they like fight against each other, so that's a story in itself. So it's a lot to happen.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So,
But you know what? I think they might try to do Dunkin' Egg similar to The Witcher. I think that format really works.
Yeah. That's what I kind of think. Yeah. We'll see. But let me sign off from here. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Next week we'll have Chloe Diz back on the scene. Thank you, E, for coming in. Thank you, Josh, for as always. Everybody like, comment, and subscribe to One Mic Media. Trying to get them subscribers up. Once again, we'll see you on Wednesday for E's favorite show, The Acolyte. And for that, we out. What's your